Life has a way of shaping us, and for some, that shaping is not always positive. People who have experienced intense suffering often carry emotional scars that affect their behavior, relationships, and approach to life. Tony Robbins, one of the most influential motivational speakers, has helped millions of individuals understand their emotional struggles and transform their lives. His insights into human behavior provide a deeper understanding of how people who have suffered can react to the world around them, especially in relationships. In this script, we'll explore the behaviors of individuals who have suffered deeply in life and how they can impact relationships. We'll discuss common emotional responses, the psychological scars that come from suffering, and provide insights on how to offer support and healing for those who have faced tremendous hardship. 1. Trust issues and fear of betrayal. One of the most significant challenges faced by those who have endured suffering is trust. When people experience betrayal, abandonment, or deceit, their ability to trust others becomes severely impaired. This is because suffering often teaches them that the world can be unpredictable and cruel. In relationships, trust issues can manifest as a constant fear of being hurt again. They may become overly suspicious, overly cautious, or even paranoid. Tony Robbins emphasizes that trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, but it's something that can take years to rebuild once it's been broken. People who have been hurt are often afraid to open their hearts because they fear betrayal once again. If you are in a relationship with someone who struggles with trust, it's essential to understand that their behavior is not a reflection of their feelings for you, but a defense mechanism built to protect them from further pain. To help them heal, it's important to show them through consistent actions that they are safe and supported. Patience, understanding, and reassurance are key to restoring trust. 2. Fear of intimacy. Suffering, especially emotional trauma, can create a fear of intimacy. When someone has been deeply hurt in the past, they may view emotional closeness as a threat. They associate intimacy with vulnerability, and vulnerability is seen as a potential for more harm. For these individuals, love and closeness may feel risky, and they may push others away as a way to protect themselves. Tony Robbins often talks about how fear, whether from past experiences or imagined future pain, can trap us in a cycle of emotional avoidance. People with this fear of intimacy may seem distant, disconnected, or cold. They may avoid physical touch, emotional sharing, or any form of closeness that could make them feel exposed. For people struggling with this fear, it's crucial to create a space of emotional safety. They need to know that they are not going to be hurt if they open up. You must show them that intimacy does not have to equate to vulnerability, but rather that true intimacy can be a source of strength, connection, and healing. 3. Emotional reactivity and overreaction. Another behavior commonly observed in people who have suffered too much is emotional reactivity. Suffering can cause individuals to develop a heightened emotional sensitivity, meaning that seemingly small issues or comments can trigger an intense emotional reaction. Tony Robbins discusses how past trauma or pain can leave emotional wounds that are easily triggered by situations that remind them of their suffering. For example, a person who has been abandoned might react disproportionately to a minor disagreement with their partner, fearing that it is the beginning of another emotional loss. Similarly, someone who has been betrayed might become overly defensive when faced with even the smallest signs of potential rejection. To navigate relationships with individuals who exhibit emotional reactivity, it's important to practice empathy and patience. When conflict arises, avoid escalating the situation. Instead, offer a calm, understanding response, and help them reflect on the situation in a non-threatening way. Tony Robbins teaches that emotional control comes from understanding that we always have a choice in how we respond to emotions. Helping your partner or loved one gain emotional intelligence and self-awareness can aid them in managing their reactions. 4. Difficulty expressing emotions and vulnerability. A key behavior of people who have suffered too much is difficulty expressing their emotions. Suffering often teaches individuals to internalize their pain rather than express it. When people have been taught that vulnerability leads to hurt or rejection, they may withhold their feelings to avoid appearing weak or exposed. In relationships, this can manifest as emotional distance. These individuals may struggle to communicate their needs or desires, and they may not share their true emotions with those they love. Over time, this emotional suppression can erode the connection between partners. To help someone who has trouble expressing their feelings, it's important to encourage open communication. Sometimes, it can be beneficial to ask guiding questions or create an environment where they feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. Tony Robbins often advises that communication is the cornerstone of healthy relationships and that learning to express emotions constructively is essential for emotional well-being. 5. Withdrawal and isolation. Withdrawal and isolation are coping mechanisms that individuals who have suffered too much often resort to. After facing significant hardship, they may believe that they are better off alone, either because they fear getting hurt again or because they feel unworthy of love and connection. When someone withdraws from others, it's a sign of their emotional exhaustion. They may feel overwhelmed by their suffering and think that distancing themselves is the only way to find peace. This behavior can be particularly challenging for relationships, as the other person may feel rejected or abandoned. Supporting someone who isolates themselves involves giving them space to process their feelings while also gently encouraging them to re-engage with the world. It's important to show them that they don't have to face their pain alone and that seeking connection is not a sign of weakness, but a step toward healing. 6. Unresolved anger and resentment. People who have suffered deeply may carry unresolved anger and resentment towards those who have wronged them or the circumstances that led to their pain. Tony Robbins teaches that holding onto negative emotions like anger only harms the person who carries them. However, many people who have endured suffering struggle to let go of this anger, believing that it is the only way to keep themselves protected. This unresolved anger can surface in relationships as defensiveness, criticism, or even passive-aggressive behavior. It's often hard for someone who has been hurt to forgive others, but holding onto resentment only prevents emotional healing. Helping someone move past their anger involves showing them that forgiveness is not about excusing the behavior but about releasing the hold it has over them. Tony Robbins emphasizes that forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for emotional freedom. Encouraging forgiveness in a gentle and non-judgmental way can help the individual let go of their resentment and experience true healing. 7. A need for control. After experiencing suffering, many individuals develop a need for control in their relationships. This need for control is often an attempt to avoid further pain or disappointment. People who have suffered may feel that they can't rely on others to make decisions or keep promises, so they take control of situations to protect themselves from the unknown. In relationships, the need for control can manifest as overly rigid expectations, micromanagement, or an unwillingness to compromise. It can create tension and frustration for both partners, as one person may feel suffocated by the constant need for control. The best way to address this behavior is by fostering trust and encouraging independence within the relationship. Supporting your partner in making their own decisions and acknowledging their autonomy can help reduce their need for control. Tony Robbins advocates for personal empowerment and mutual respect in relationships, which can help individuals feel secure without needing to control everything.